everyone, and welcome to another edition of my Become Unstoppable series. And today I have another amazing guest for you, and this is Sally. So, Sally, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name's Sally Hargraves. I was asked by Julie to come along and just have a chat with Julie, really. So my background is I've run my own businesses since I was about 24, 25 years old, I think. I've been in my current business for the last 13 years and still going and still loving it, which I know that some people find that challenging. I work from home, which also I know that some people find a bit challenging motivating yourself when you run your own business and you work from home. So yeah, we can have a chat and see if I can share any tips.
So, what's the name of your business?
It's really just Sally Hargraves, actually. My website's Sally Hargraves. I work alongside a company called Forever Living Products, and that's for part of my business. My business that I have now is selling supplements, helping my team members. I went on to do a nutrition qualification, so I can now help people with meal planning and things like that. And I've also slightly specialised in helping ladies perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, just because that's the kind of age range that I am. So I found that really interesting.
Amazing. And we'll talk a bit more about that later on. So those who don't know me, I'm Julie and I'm from Millieside Therapy and Coaching. And basically I'm a super conscious hypnotherapist, which means I really tap in to the subconscious mind and we find what's keeping you stuck. I specialise in stress, anxiety and overwhelm with business owners and professionals. And I just like to help people uncover what's keeping them stuck, right? So that might be psychological conditions, it might be physical conditions, and it's about releasing all that limiting beliefs, trapped feelings, trapped emotions, so that you can live your unstoppable life. So that's a bit about me. So before we get cracking, Sally, I have to ask you my famous question. I say famous, not really famous, but you know what I mean. And that is, what does being unstoppable mean to you?
I think when you said that, I think to me, what came into my mind is just not giving up. Just key. I think that's kind of, to me, that's the definition of unstoppable, is to keep going. And yeah, I suppose life throws you challenges, but it's just really, really important to carry on focusing on your goals. So it's like whatever else is going on, just kind of keep in mind your main goals. I think that's what makes you unstoppable, is when I don't know, you've got like a laser focus on something.
Yeah, if you know what you want. The problem is a lot of people don't know what they want, and that's why they don't necessarily get what they want out of life. And that is really important, isn't it? What you focus on, you bring upon yourself, don't you? So if you continue to focus on negative things and being around negative people and whinging and moaning and thinking the world owes you a favour, then funny enough, you're not going to live that abundant life, are you?
Yeah, that is so true, actually. There are people that say they're not getting what they want, but then they also have never really worked out what it is they do want. And I know that's really hard. It is hard to work out what you want. I think the easiest way to work it out is to work out what you enjoy and just do more of the bits that you like.
And actually, we're all good at writing a list of things that we do want, aren't we? We can go, oh, I want maybe the lovely house, the lovely holidays, or the man of my dreams, or whatever it is, a woman of my dreams, etc. But sometimes it's actually good to write a list of what we don't want and go, right, I definitely don't want to be poor. I definitely don't want to be sad. I definitely don't want to be lonely. Things that definitely don't want in your life, and get them out in the open as well. I think that's important, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah. And I think the interesting thing is that, both you and me work in the sector of health, yet I wonder, it's almost like something, being healthy, particularly being healthy in your mind, I think it's often something that people overlook.
Definitely.
If you said to somebody, what are your top 3 goals? What do you most want? you know, it might be like a happy family, but there'll be a work goal or a business goal in there, and it will be holidays and things like that. But none of that's possible if you're not healthy.
That's a very, very good
You know?
point. I like that, actually. And you're so right, because I find sometimes the last thing people will spend money on is on themselves, right? In particular, sorting out their mindset and belief systems, right? But actually, you're right, because until you fix yourself and you love who you are within, the rest of it's not going to happen how you want it to be.
No, because you're bringing other stuff to it. So no matter how much you say, right, I'm going to be completely unstoppable and I'm going for this, your mind's focused on other things. So it is important to, and you know, same with your physical health. If you're not physically healthy, then what's the point in having an amazing holiday on your goal board? Are you actually going to be able to enjoy it? And the same with your mental health. So many people suffer from anxiety and things like that, and that's going to affect
Everything.
Absolutely.
And especially as business owners, if you don't look after yourself, like you say, that will be food, that will be exercise, but very much sorting out your internal self, if you like. You're not going to get what you want. It's going to impact relationships. So if you might find that you're someone who seems to always attract the wrong type of person, well, the likelihood of that is potentially that's because you've got beliefs inside you that maybe you're not good enough, you're not worthy, and you're putting out in the subconscious mind, you're putting that vibration out there, so you're attracting the wrong type of person. So you need to fix yourself from within. The same might be you're lacking in confidence. Well, that will go down to root beliefs that maybe you felt different, maybe you didn't feel good enough, maybe you don't feel worthy, and as a lacking in confidence will impact you getting a new job, going for a promotion, building a business, going out social media, that's not really a sentence, is it? Being visible on social media if you're a business owner, and that then impacts how much money you're going to earn. And this is what people don't understand, isn't it? And like you say, if you're not eating properly and you're, as a result of all of these things of not looking after yourself, then you're going to get sick. And what a lot of people don't understand is when we're in physical pain or we've got physical conditions, mostly that could to do with the mind-body connection, because they are trapped in your body. They can be released, and we quite happily, well, I don't know about happily, but we'll go to the doctors and get a pill to fix something, when actually you can fix it either from working with someone like me or other healing modalities, or like yourself, teaching them that actually the reason you feel fat and bloated is because you're eating this, and this. Did you know that you should be eating this, and this? And it's all about people not knowing and understanding.
And people just have to go and seek the knowledge, really. Even just things like your energy levels. So if you know, for really good example, you're trying to build your own business and maybe you're finding that you're having days where you're just not achieving anything, you're not focused, and you keep getting distracted, that kind of thing. That can just be to do with your energy levels. Like if you're having lunch and then overwhelmed with the urge to nap, you're not
going to be very productive, are you?
No, and then you're not going to be building the business at the pace that you wanted to. So, you know, there is a lot that goes into being unstoppable, isn't there?
There is a lot.
You know, when I work with people on meal planning, where they've come to me because they've got no energy and they feel really sluggish, or they might be overweight, or they've got belly fat, they don't want that kind of thing. Looking at the foods they eat and looking at eating well is obviously going to give them more energy. But most people will always talk about a time in their life where they felt they were getting it really right. And they did have energy and they were exercising and they were doing mindfulness. And so they were looking after their whole self. And at that point, they were achieving more in their job or their business or their life.
100%.
Yeah, because, you know, I've found it myself that the more I exercise, the more I achieve in my business. And whether that's, as you say, it's the positivity that you're sending out there, or just the fact that you're more energetic.
Well, a lot of it is because we're sending, your body these wonderful hormones like the dopamine and serotonin hits, isn't there, which are kind of making us happy. And actually, the smallest things in life, like going out and having fun, laughing and dancing, are the things what the doctor should be prescribing, right? Because if we had more fun in our lives and we just went out and had a laugh, we went for a walk, we took some time for ourselves, even if it was just 10 minutes a day, just to do a light exercise, even just to do a 15-20 minute meditation, or just do a bit of journaling. It's about taking that time out, and this links in very well. Like, I've got this amazing group program which I've turned now into a subscription, and it's a bit of a tongue tie, but it's Your Breakthrough from Stress, Lack of Confidence to Inner Peace and Clarity.
Right.
And all the modules are all around. Most of us are too busy being busy, right? So we just don't take time out for ourselves. There's that guilt, especially as a working parent, where you feel like you're being pulled in so many different directions. And the last thing you want to do is take time out for yourself, because how can you do that? Because you've got all this other stuff to do. How selfish. That, it makes you feel guilty. What do you mean you sat down for 10 minutes and read a book? Right? But the fact of the matter is, we've got to get off that too busy being busy treadmill, and we've got to understand that if we don't look after ourselves, then we can't look after everybody else. And I always like to go back to the plane analogy: when the mask comes down, put your mask on before you help your kids. Exactly the same, isn't it?
I talk to people that want to lose weight, want to get more energetic, want to start looking after themselves, and they might be mums. The other thing is people that work full time and are tied to their desk all day, whereas actually there's so much research, isn't there, that if you leave at lunchtime like you're supposed to, and go for a walk and get some fresh air, that you're so much more productive.
Very true.
And same with the mindfulness. Like, if you're not switching off at all, you might feel like you're doing better because you're working 18 hours a day, but you're not. You need evenings, you need a bedtime routine, you need a sleep routine, all that kind of thing. You need to eat properly.
And it all becomes a vicious circle, because if you wake up in the morning feeling tired because you didn't sleep very well, right? You're in a bit of a mood, aren't you? Oh God, I haven't got any energy for today. Oh my God, it's just going to be such a crap day today. I'm never going to get anything done. I've got this. I'm just too busy being busy, right? Now, this was me in the corporate world. I spent 35 years in the corporate world, right? I would get up, feel tired, get on the train, get to work. Oh God, running around meeting to meeting. Lunchtime comes, right? And wherever I worked in the corporate world, I used to always have a gym membership, because I did like to go and do that at lunchtime if I could. But there would be days and I'd go, oh, I just haven't got time. I've got to do this. I've got to do that, right? And I would miss the class, because I used to like doing classes more than the gym. And then I'd spend the next hour being gutted that I missed that class. And I'd go, for God's sake, Julie, you could have gone to them. And then I'd feel tired because I haven't left my desk. And then I wouldn't get any extra work done anyway, because I just didn't have any energy.
Or you probably spend more time at the coffee machine and more time just in your brain going, I should have gone to class. Should have gone to the
class. And then I'll be overthinking it. I should have gone to the, And then, like, you get through the rest of the day, then you come home, you're exhausted, and then quite often people can't be bothered to cook, or they're just eating something crap, or get a takeaway, and then they have that glass of wine or two, chocolate last thing before you go to bed. And guess what? You go to bed and you can't sleep, can you? Because your cortisol levels are shooting through the roof because you've had all that sugar last thing at night.
100%.
So it's about, you are what you eat, for sure, aren't you?
And the thing is that whether it's exercise or sugar intake in the evening or whatever, it's very easy to do it, and it's also quite hard to stop.
Yes, because everything's a habit, right?
And actually, why it's quite interesting having the conversation with you. So in the past, I've had hypnotherapy to stop snacking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I was never that much of a snack monster. I was never a sugar monster, really. I was a savoury. But hypnotherapy just knocked it on the head overnight. Like I'm like a sponge when I have hypnotherapy. So it was just gone. And I strongly believe there's something to be said for just having like a completely clean sweep
Yes.
where you do just reset your mind like that. But then you have to carry on
Yeah.
in a good way. Otherwise, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve isn't going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
But as you say, a lot of it is habit forming, isn't it? So even just people going for a different just simple things like people that snack every evening when they sit in front of the TV. Don't sit in front of the TV. Go
Yeah,
for a walk after
exactly.
dinner.
Yeah, go and listen
You
to
know,
a podcast or do something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and this is the thing, isn't it? A lot of people go, "Oh, I haven't got time to do that," and they go, "Well, how many hours an evening then do you sit and watch crap on telly, or how many hours do you spend scrolling through crap on your
Yeah,
phone?"
yeah.
You know, well, if you've got time to do that, then you've got time to meditate, or you've got time to do a bit of exercise.
Mm,
And this was what makes me laugh, right? Like when I work with my clients on a one-to-one, when we do like the real deep stuff and
mm.
get, I just love it, right? But I create them a bespoke recording and I
Yeah,
say to them, you've got to listen to this recording every single day, at least once, right? For a
yeah,
minimum of
mm,
21 days, because it takes 21 days to change a
yeah.
habit, right? Anyone would think I was asking them to poke sticks in their eyes, right?
Oh, I
I'm
know.
asking you to just relax, do nothing, even do it when you go to bed. And quite
Mm,
often they go, "Oh, yeah, I haven't done it yet. Oh, yeah, I haven't done it for a few days." What is your problem?
mm.
It's a nice thing.
I've got a sleep mask.
Have
So I've
you?
got, so it's like a big eye mask, but it's got little tiny speakers.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I listen to something every night before I go to bed. Well,
Mm.
sorry, before I go to sleep. I'm in bed. I fall
Yeah.
asleep to it every
Doing
night.
it. Yeah. And
Um,
I do sometimes, when, especially if I can't sleep, then I'll stick
mm,
like my sleep one on. But
yeah,
actually, I do it in the morning before my husband gets up really early most days, and I'm just
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not getting up yet.
Ah,
So, like I'm talking like 5 or 6. I'll get up no later than 7. But
yeah.
um, my alarm goes off, I do a hypnosis. I put that on because that's an amazing time to
Ah,
do it as well, because that's when you're in the right brain
yeah,
levels.
I've never tried that.
And it's nice because you kind of feel like I don't feel guilty because I haven't got out of bed, but
Mm,
I also feel good because I'm doing this, and I've been doing the same one for probably a good few months now, and
mm,
it's called the Abundance Waterfall. And I get up in my head, I go to this beautiful garden, and I walk to this lovely waterfall, and then
mm,
it's all about having abundance, seeing like
mm.
all the lovely faces. And I always go and see my it sounds a bit morbid, but my dead dog Lufa is playing in the field, and I go and have
Yeah,
a little stroke with him
yeah.
every day. And then we go to I go to the waterfall because he never liked water, but and then it's just really nice. And I do it every day now, and I feel like I do genuinely feel really abundant now. And
Oh,
yeah, and it's about, and this is the
yeah.
thing, right? Our mind learns by repetition. So this is the amazing thing about hypnosis and meditations to a point, but hypnosis is
Mm,
fundamentally changing your neuro pathways, right? So when you might
yeah,
believe that you're stupid, say, but my recordings will go, "You're amazing, you're so confident, you're phenomenal," right?
yeah,
So because this
yeah.
is the thing, right? A belief is just something we believe, right? So we might
Mm,
believe in Father Christmas, we might believe in the Tooth Fairy, we might believe that
mm,
children should be seen and not heard, we might believe in different religions, right? But these are just things
mm,
that we've either been brainwashed into, we've picked up from
mm,
people around us, or, and this is an important one, we picked them up ourselves when we were children, mainly between 0
yeah,
and 7, because that's when the majority of our belief systems are created. But the
yeah.
unfortunate thing is that we don't have logic at that time. So our brains will create these beliefs. But actually, when you
Mm,
look back on one as an adult, you think, oh my God, why did I believe that? Right. But the
mm,
problem is that's what's inside. Right. And
mm,
what we have to do is find what those limiting beliefs are and switch them. So in my sessions, even in my group program with the hypnosis, we go and find them, and then we flip them. So if you believe that you're ugly, for example, well, why can't you believe you're beautiful? If you believe that you're not good enough, why can't you believe that you're amazing? Right? It's just a belief, right? And we spend all our time trying to change things, which we consciously can try a little bit, but I don't like using the word try, but that's what people always say. Well, I try. But what people don't understand is 5% of our mind is conscious, 95 is subconscious, and that is our mind and our body, right? So if inside you believe that you're not good enough, you can consciously talk to someone. Like I could be saying, Sally, you're amazing. You can do whatever you want to do. But if your subconscious mind doesn't agree, as soon as we stop talking about it, your conscious mind will go, oh, hang on, because it's gone back to the subconscious, and it'll go, well, no, you're not, Sally. You're a bit stupid, aren't you? Or no, you're not, Sally. You're no.
Yeah. And then you look for things in your day that back up your negative belief, don't you? I do mantras, actually. I like repeating mantras to myself.
What like about you're amazing, you're phenomenal, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And particularly, you know, like people that are looking for a relationship or people that are building a business or any of those things, it's about the kind of people that you attract into your life, isn't it? So, like, if you are running a business, no matter what it is, you need people to come to you. I can't think of any business where you don't need people to come to you in some way for your service or your product. So I do a mantra about attracting the right kind of people into my life. And I think that covers everything, because then you meet like amazing people that are friends, that have a real synergy with you and things like that. But and it is that thing that you said, that if you're walking around in a negative space, the kind of the energy that you're giving off is quite negative. So
and that's the other people you're going to attract.
And if you are in a space, which I imagine a lot of people that both of us know are running their own businesses, if you are that negative person, then you're less likely to attract the kind of people that you need to push your business forward.
And this is why, and this is how we met, actually, in networking environments, didn't we? And they're good, because I mean, if someone was really negative and they kept rocking up to those events, they'd soon be sort of, can you not come? Because you're just, well, they probably wouldn't want to do it, because people are not like that in there, are they? Because people will go.
No, to be honest, I don't think you'd ever get anybody go, oh, I don't think you should come along today. But they won't get the outcome that they want, because people aren't going to engage with them, find out more about what they're doing. They're not going to invite them for a coffee, a week after the event. And I think, and I think it is more when you go to an event regularly as well. I suppose at that point you can work out whether somebody's just having a really bad day or whether every day is a bit. But sometimes I think it is really important to just check in with yourself, just check in with all of it, just kind of go, well, why am I feeling off? Is it, am I anxious? Am I worrying about something? Have I got a really bad digestive system? Something like that. And then, as you say, it's interesting how people choose to spend their money and the way people prioritize their health. Because people that have got a brand new iPhone will say they can't afford a gym membership. And certainly I know what I would feel is the most important.
I did like a sales call once with this guy. Oh my God, he was a mess, right? But I knew I could help him, because he was on drugs. He was like anxious, stress, you name it. And then, so we went through the call and we did all the, what would it mean to you to, be amazing, I could do this, da, 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 da. And then it was, oh, I'm not spending that kind of money. I've just spent £10,000 on a holiday.
It's mad, isn't it? It really is.
You know,
mad. Yeah, and how are you gonna enjoy the holiday if you're completely stressed out?
You know, and a holiday's great, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have holidays. If you can afford a holiday, have a holiday, right? I love holidays, but unfortunately, if you've got things going on inside you, you're not going to get rid of them going on holiday. You might hide them for a little while, and you know, put them in the cupboard while you're away. But trust me, when you come back, that box is just going to open again. So maybe it's about, like you say, like, I mean, obviously we're not condoning anyone, but don't you know, it's like a smoker, isn't it? Like so many smokers, well, why do you smoke? Oh, because I like it. Yeah, but you know it's killing you, right? Yeah, but it's nice and calming. And I go to him, oh, right, why do you think that then? Well, because I take myself away when I need a cigarette. Okay, so you take a break, do you? Okay, well, you could take a break. Oh, but it really calms me. So I say to them, right, yeah, look, I'm just going to have a cigarette. Do that a few times. Oh, or is that calming breathing you're doing there?
And also, you're probably outside when the office is manic.
So you've taken yourself away from the manicness, taking a break.
So it might,
right outdoors.
Most people, and most people don't, like, even if they're at home, they don't smoke indoors, do they? Most people don't, that I know of. So you're going out in the garden. So you're going away from the noise and whatever's going on, and you're in daylight, you know. And as you say, you're
so
breathing.
You're doing all the things that we're trying to tell you to do, but you think it's a cigarette that's doing that for you. And it is in a way, I suppose, because you wouldn't be doing it, but you could do all of that still without actually doing the cigarette, because also they go out, all the smokers, don't they? And they have a lovely chat. So they're de-stressing themselves. So the whole process is perfect, except for the actual smoking part.
The unhealthy bit.
Yeah. But
I did this exercise once.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. I did this exercise once. I can't remember. Oh, am I?
Yeah, he was on a bit.
I did this exercise one where the perfect morning and what that would look like. And also, you know, not just perfect as in I'd wake up by the sea, but what does your ideal morning look like? Like, i.e., like for me, it was things like getting everything ready the night before so I didn't rush. And you know, what would it look like? And just simple things like getting out of bed when the alarm goes off. If you're one of these people that snoozes and snoozes and snoozes, because that's going to make you really tired.
Unless they're going to do an audio, of course, and that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking that as I said it. But for me, like a morning where I've had a bit of forethought the night before, and I've got my overnight oats ready, I've got my clothes ready, I've got my bag packed, I know what I'm doing, and all of that, compared to a morning where I've chosen to kind of go, oh, I'm really tired. I'll leave it all till the morning.
And that's a very good point, because it's all about planning and prep, isn't it? So you can plan your breakfast, do your packed lunch if you're going out all day, but also the meal planning. I always meal plan. And I've done that for a long, long time. And I know you encourage that as well, because it's a great time-saving tool, but also it's a money-saving tool as well. Because when I go shopping, I know how to have a good time. I normally go shopping on a Friday evening. But I've already done my menu planning, and now sometimes that feels a little bit of an overhead. You know, when you're like, oh God, I haven't even done my meal planning yet. But the good thing about it is I know what I need to buy. So I'm not buying a whole load of stuff that's going to go off. Right. And when it comes to dinner time, well, sometimes we deviate. You might go, oh, because we'll have Wednesday's dinner on Monday. Or sometimes when I come home, say, for example, I've got fish, I might have that scheduled for Thursday, but it's going to go off before Tuesday. You know, so you sort of, but you've got an outline of it. It doesn't really matter anyway. It's just a guidance, isn't it? Right. And then because that's one of the reasons people don't eat well, is because they haven't got anything to eat in the cupboards, right? You can't be asked to think about what to have, so you think it's easier to go and get a takeaway. But actually, had you done that little bit of planning, it's quicker, more healthier, and cheaper to actually cook something yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you can work out a bit more about what healthy and what not healthy. Because the other thing is, even if you're not going down the takeaway route, you're going to your freezer because you haven't got anything. Now, don't get me wrong, my freezer is super lovely. It's got really good stuff in it. But obviously, your freezer could be chips, it could be chicken nuggets, all that kind of thing, which have their place, but maybe not too often. And yeah, you're right. And the other thing is during the day, where the majority of us are busy, people skip breakfast, which if you're fasting is a good idea, but it's not for everyone. And that's quite an interesting one. People think they are fasting because they'll go, I don't eat till lunchtime. Well, you've put milk in your coffee, so that's food. So you've just broken your fast. But
that's
anyway,
another story.
So people skip breakfast, or they have a very sugary breakfast with a cup of coffee. So then their blood sugar is going to spike, and then they're going to feel awful mid-morning. So they're going to reach for more sugar and more coffee. But it's the lunch. I think the lunch, when I work with people that are either really lacking energy or wanting to lose a bit of weight, lunch is probably the biggest downfall, because if you don't plan your lunch, you're going to go to the shop, and you've got to be really careful
Never
what shop
food
you
shop
go
when
to.
you're hungry, should you?
Yeah, and also you're going to go for the plastic sandwiches, you're going to go for the white bread, you're going to go for stuff that actually doesn't taste very nice, and it isn't going to fill you up. And that doesn't mean that you can't buy lunch out, but there's good options. And yeah, and then you're right, if people don't plan their evening meals, they fall down a lot. And don't get me wrong, if people can eat whatever they want to, but it's whether that food is aligning with your goal. And that's the biggest thing. Whereas if you don't have the food in the house that you know you don't want to eat, then it doesn't matter how tired you are, you're not going to fall off the wagon. And you're right, if you go shopping once, twice a week and actually buy the food that you know that you want to eat, as opposed to a last minute kind of, I'm too tired to cook and what should we do? You can still have your takeaways, doesn't matter. But then you're having takeaways as a treat, and it's planned, and it's a Saturday night, it's a Sunday night, and you're doing it for a reason, rather than feeling like you should be eating well, and then you have the takeaway because you're tired, and then you're going down that route of guilt again, a bit like you sitting at the desk rather than going to the class.
And then you're spending money that you could spend in other ways. Maybe you could spend that on sorting out your mind, or speaking to someone like you to help you a little bit more, because it's all money down the drain, isn't it? And in a world that the cost of living and everything like that, I mean, the sad thing is that it's actually cheaper to feed a family of 4 or whatever eating crap food, isn't it? Go and get pizzas and chips, and that's what's sad. To actually buy nice food is more expensive. But
and I think it's quite similar with the takeaways. I think if it's a planned takeaway and it's a special occasion, you might go Indian or Chinese, which is probably like you can do an Indian quite well. You can do quite healthy at an Indian. But I think when it's midweek and you shouldn't really be having it, you're trying to keep the cost down. So you're going very fast food, because they're the ones that have the meal deals on. Like your local whatever will have some sort of deal going where you can have and you got vast amounts of food for a tenner. So that's the way you're going to be leaning, and then you are going to feel rotten afterwards.
Exactly, and that's when you're not going to sleep, because your sugar levels are rising, and then it just becomes that vicious cycle even more, doesn't it? And actually, what I like doing is bulk cooking. So, and I know, very organised. And
yeah,
we used to do a lot of the Gustos and HelloFreshes, but now we've got so many books of them, we just use them, but create by the ingredients ourselves. And like if they're
yeah,
before my son went traveling, there was like 3 of us, so we'd cook the 4-person meal because it's
yeah,
just easier,
yeah,
and then freeze one. So I've got
mm,
probably 3 or 4 shelves of nice meals
mm,
that so one I think we've got one tonight. We've got chili out the freezer, and
mm,
we're going to have chili and sweet potato. So it's
yeah,
just you can have a fast meal, but it's
yeah,
something that you've pre-cooked. And actually, if you bulk, when I make a chili, I make a massive, saucepan of it, and
yeah.
then that does maybe 6 or 7 meals. But
Wow.
you're not
Yeah,
buying
that
like
is really
you're
good.
not buying like I don't put if I'm doing it for 8 people, I don't put 8 onions in it. Or do you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
you don't need to put exactly all of everything that it tells you because you're just making more of it.
And that is quite a
It is
cheap
a
way
cheap
of
way of
cooking, isn't
cooking,
it,
yeah,
really?
especially with mincemeat
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that. And it's really
yeah,
healthy. You can make, your bolognese meats and put them in the freezer, and then all you got to do is cook your pasta up, and it's still fast
yeah,
food, but it's healthy food.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do quite healthy food in about
It's
20
it's
minutes.
not difficult, is it? It is when you don't know
No.
how. Um,
And it's also, it is when you haven't got things, like if you haven't thought ahead, then your chicken breasts and your salmon and all that kind of thing are going to be frozen in the
exactly.
freezer. And then nobody wants to
And then
stand
I'm
there
like,
defrosting
oh,
it.
what am I going to have now? Oh, there's a pizza in there.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I have done that
that
before when I
exactly.
forgot to get it out. I go to make the dinner and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
bugger, I didn't get the salmon out
yeah,
of the freezer.
yeah,
If it's early
yeah.
on
And
in
we
the week, you
all
can get
do
away with
it.
it, can't you? Because you've got the other meals. But if it's
Yeah,
like Thursday,
but yeah, but we all 100%
we
do
do.
it, don't we? That is what we
Yeah.
do. But yeah, it's just about trying to be better as much as we can. And that doesn't mean, as I say, people should eat whatever they
Mm.
like. But for those people that are trying to look after what they're eating and they have got goals to do with their food, it's an amazing feeling when you do hit what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is that, if you start at the beginning of the week saying, this is what I want to do, but then you don't achieve it, that's when you get the let down
Mm.
feeling yourself, isn't it? And that's what it's all about. If you want to eat well,
Make it easy for
then
yourself.
yeah, and then you won't be reaching for the pizza, and it'll all be a bit better. And and then if you have treats, have takeaways, have whatever you want to, but that cycle of I should have better, and look
Yeah.
what I've done. So now I'm going to beat myself up about it.
Exactly. And we very
Um,
rarely have takeaways now because I just
mm,
don't enjoy them because I find them salty or too sweet, or I
yeah,
can cook
I
nice
think
and
some
neat.
people do get
Yeah,
to the
nice food.
stage. Yeah, yeah, they get to the stage where they actually prefer their
Much to my
own
son's
food.
disgust when he was here, they both our boys are travelling now, but he was like, "Oh, can't we have a take?" No, I don't want a takeaway. Well, you go and buy one then if you want one. And they go, "Yeah, I will. Don't count
Yeah,
me out. I don't want what you're having. So fine, that's up to you." But occasionally
mm,
we do it, and I probably enjoy it, but then I'd go, yeah, I probably
mm.
could, like if it's an Indian or something, I can cook a better curry myself now,
Yes, there is
so
that, isn't there, where people just get to the stage where they're like, it's not as nice as my food. And the weird thing is like the food you eat is a bit like habit, but also your taste buds. That if you come away from sugar
mm,
and you come away from fast food for, as you say, 21, 28 days, where
yeah,
you make
change
a
that habit.
real, yeah, you make a real effort, but it also changes your palate. So if
It does,
you,
definitely.
so if
Mm,
you made a conscious effort to eat well for a space of 21 days, 28 days, your energy levels would soar, you'd be sleeping well, everything would be going in the right direction. And you'd walk past a fast food place and go, I don't even like the smell. Like
Yeah. And
smells
an
recently.
example of that actually is like I gave up sugar in my tea,
Ah, yeah,
right? Years and years ago, I used to have
yeah,
2, then I went
yeah,
down to 1, and then I got down to like, I don't know,
yeah.
less than half you know, and it got really embarrassing because people say, "Do you want sugar?" And I go, "Yeah, no, less, you know, like, and in the end, I thought, really, just ditch it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh my God, it was
yeah.
horrendous. It was horrid. And it was horrid for a really
Mm.
long time, really long, like I'm talking months,
Oh,
right?
bless
So
you.
now
Yeah,
you put a bit of sugar
yeah.
in, I'm like, it's like you're poisoning
I
me.
know, I know. Yeah, I used to drink tea with
Yeah.
2
Like
sugars.
now you're like,
It's
oh
mad.
God, make your teeth go there
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
it. And it was really funny
yeah.
because
It's
my
weird,
friend
isn't
Nicola,
it?
right? She said to me, I think I might give up sugar. And then I went, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It took a bit of a while. And then months later, she went, you didn't tell me it was going to be this disgusting for so long. I said, I know. I think what it was with the
Oh,
tea, you could actually taste the tea because when you add sugar, it
yeah.
masks the taste, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're basically just having sugar
Yeah.
in
And
milk,
it was
aren't
like, what's that
you?
horrible taste? Oh, that'll be tea
Yeah.
then, will it? So you had kind of had
Don't
to
actually
like
like
you were saying
tea.
about the palate,
Yeah,
retraining the palate to
yeah,
actually like the taste of tea because I didn't realise that I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really taste the tea that much.
yeah,
But yeah, it is all about, and it does take a
yeah.
while. And what was funny, it was like because obviously you got your tea making facilities and you got your sugar caddies and all that. And what took a
Mm.
while was that the habit of putting my hand out to the sugar pot. Even doing that took a long while. Then I'd just get
Yeah.
my hand. First of all, I'd be opening it and just about, oh no. Then it got to
Mm.
not opening the lid, and then it got eventually I
Mm.
didn't put my arm out to go and do it, but it took me a while. You have to
Yeah,
reprogram your mind, right? And this is why
yeah,
it's so
yeah,
important.
yeah, of
And
course
this is
you
why
do.
people give up on
Yeah.
diet. Oh no, we don't use the dirty D word, do we? But
No,
this is why people give up
no.
on eating healthily, give up on exercise,
Mm,
give up on their New Year's resolutions so quickly because they don't do it for
mm.
long enough.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. And they won't see the results. Like we are a next day
Yes,
delivery
very
culture
much.
now, aren't we? So we want an instant
Yeah.
result. So and there's loads of jokes about it, isn't there? That you do well and you eat well for 2 or 3 days, and you're like, why am I not slim? What's going on
Yeah.
here?
I've been to the gym
But
4 times now. Why am I not
but that's
skinny?
why but that's why sometimes it's more if your focus is health, then you'll keep going because you know that 30 minutes exercise 4 times a week is going to make your heart healthier, all that kind of thing. So if that is your goal and
Mm.
that is your focus, that you want to live longer, that you want to be able to run around after your children, you know, you want to be more energetic at work, you want to achieve more, that is a sustainable goal that's going to keep you going. Losing £6 to go on holiday is brilliant, but you're going to put it back on during the holiday because what you've told yourself is you need that done by the 1st of July.
Yeah,
But you haven't gone, but I'm going to sustain it after.
absolutely. Spot
You know,
on because your mind will listen to anything you
yeah,
tell it. Right?
yeah. Whereas actually, if you go, I just want to be healthy,
Yes.
then,
Completely
you know,
changing the
so
language, isn't it, around
yeah,
it all? And that's
yeah.
really
So
the
I,
language is so
yeah,
important. The way we talk to ourselves, and I talk about this a
yeah,
lot in my group program, but also when I work with people, because the language we use, and I'm not talking about swearing, is so important because
yeah,
when I've got a bit of a potty mouth, I won't lie, but
yeah,
um, it's about the language we tell ourselves. So if we tell ourselves, going to the point you're just making, that
mm,
I'm happy, I'm healthy, rather than, oh my God, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, I'm too
yeah,
thin, you know, start changing, flipping the language that you use. And you know, the example I gave
yeah,
earlier about, oh, I got up in the morning, I haven't slept very well, I feel really tired, I'm going to have a really crap day. Well,
mm,
how about you wake up in the morning? Do you know what? I'm so glad to be awake today. I feel so happy, feel so energized. Right, I'm going to go and make sure I have my healthy breakfast. I've prepared my lunch. I've got my dinner all planned. Off I go to work. I'm going to have an amazing day today. You come out, you go, and if you go with that attitude, you're more likely to have a good day, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you might meet these miserable people on the train or whatever, but you don't care because you're just
Yeah.
battering that negativity around you. You're
Yeah.
battering it away, and you might even actually make someone else happy, right?
Yeah.
You might just walk down the street. I mean, this is classic for London. Just smile at someone, say hi. You
Yeah.
know, at this
Yeah.
networking event I was at today, it was like people, oh, morning. It was so nice. You know, just why not? So if you change the way you are, then you can have that ripple effect on other
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
But you get through your day, you come home and you go, oh my God, I had such a great day today. Using my example, I went to the gym, had a great class today, felt really energized, got a load of tasks done off my list, was
Yeah.
really buzzing, got home, oh, I can't wait for my dinner because
Mm.
it's all brilliant, got my
Yeah.
lovely healthy,
Yeah.
and then I don't need necessarily, unless it's the weekend, that glass of wine
Yeah.
or that bar of chocolate because I've eaten something really nice, I feel
Yeah.
full, and I don't want to ruin what I've done
Mm.
all day. So
Mm.
I'll go to bed without eating that chocolate bar, and then I'm more likely to have a nice sleep. Then I can start that day in a more positive way.
Yeah.
So then you change that cycle, that negative self-talk,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
turn it into positive self-talk.
Yeah. It is yeah, it is about achieving what you want, isn't it? And it's about using other resources, i.e., some therapy to help you sort out your mind and what's going on there, or have a look at your supplements, have a look at what you're eating, you know, go and see a personal trainer if you're not very motivated. There's loads and loads of help out there, isn't there, for achieving what is your goal. You know, none of it is about us going, this is what you should be doing.
No,
There's
exactly
too much of that in life, isn't there?
Yeah, and when like earlier on, we were talking about to do things for yourself.
Yeah.
Could make you feel guilty, right?
Yeah.
But let's look at those two examples, right? If you're a mum, for example,
Yeah.
and your kids are waking up in the morning and they're all grumpy, they see their mum's all grumpy, she's miserable, she's snapping at them, you know, or do you want that mum to wake up in the morning who feels, good, she's happy, and that's going to have that knock-on effect? And then you're also teaching, look at the amazing lessons your kids are going to learn from you, how important looking after yourself is, how important eating well is, and doing some exercises, and actually having the energy to have fun with your children, maybe. Whereas rather than just sit on, all they see is you doing this all day long, well, you can't have a go at them if that's all they're doing. Start setting some examples for your kids. Let's start setting some positive examples, because if they're seeing you just like this on the sofa doing nothing much, then it's all right for them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we can't expect our children to be energetic and go out and, enjoy the sunshine and everything
if we're not
else.
doing that.
No. And it is interesting now. A lot of people do want to be a really good role model
you should
for their
be.
children, but maybe don't know where to
You
start.
should be. And this is the thing. It's like it's about this old emotional intelligence, right? I mean, we're smart ladies, but I don't know about you, but I didn't understand about the mind-body connection that well. I used to hear people about, oh, your mind and body's all connected, and it's like, oh, is it? All right. Right. Just words, right? I've heard the words, but I didn't really understand what that really meant.
So true.
Right?
Yeah.
And I lived my life in my head. I thought I could solve everything, thinking my way out of situations. I didn't realise that actually, if I stopped and I was in the present moment, then I could solve some of this stuff myself, because I could ask myself, I could ask my heart, I could ask my intuition. And this is a fun fact that people don't understand. And again, I never understood all this. Your mind can't think of things of confliction, right? So you can't be thinking negative about something and be being positive about something, right?
Yes.
You can't do that. So when you're in the present moment, you're not thinking about the future, you're not thinking about the past. So therefore, there's no conflict going on, and you can just think about the here and now. And most people don't do that, and it's difficult in the world that we live in to do that every moment of the day. I mean, the only way you're probably going to do that if you go off and be a monk or, do something like that, right? But But if we can do a little bit of that for ourselves and gradually over time build on that, and
Mindfulness.
exactly, it's about,
Down.
it's absolutely, and you can start making
Mm.
decisions about your life and in your business by doing that. And this is what people don't understand. And
Yeah.
again, I don't blame you, because I never understood it either, right? You know, if you're a
Yeah.
business owner, for example, say,
Mm.
Sally, you're thinking, right, maybe I was thinking that I might create a different element of my business. I wonder what I should do. And you could spend weeks and months going it over in your head, right? Or you
Yeah.
could take some time out to yourself, right, in that
Yeah.
quiet space, no one around you, and then just write down your
Mm.
question. Right, I would like to know whether this is a really good idea, blah, 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 blah idea, right? And then you
Yeah.
just close your
Yeah.
eyes. I like putting my hands on my heart because it just makes me focus a little bit more. And then you can go inside yourself and just, because you might have already understood about asking yourself yes or no questions, so you can understand whether it's a
Yeah.
yes or a no. But just go inside yourself and go, what could I do? And just be there for a moment and just be, and then open your eyes and just scribble down what's come up, and then go, and what
I love
else? And then go back in,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And then go back and
Yeah.
look at it, because it might not make a lot of sense, but then you'll come up with more ideas from it. But you know
Yeah.
the answers. We all got the answers from within. But if you're not stopping
Yeah.
to listen to yourself, and this is another reason, sorry, I get so passionate about this, and I will shut up in a minute.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I'm writing notes now.
When we're caught up in all of this, we're not listening to our body either.
Yeah.
And this is why we end up getting layering and layering and layering of physical conditions.
Yeah.
Because they are trapped feelings, they're trapped emotions. Some of them are ours, some of them are our parents, because at point of conception, we take on our parents. We can take on our parents' feelings
Yeah.
and emotions, or
Yeah.
they can even go back ancestral, right? We can
Yeah.
pick them up in the environment. So when we get sick a lot, or we've
Mm.
got pain, say,
Yeah.
for example, you've got chronic pain in your knee, you
Yeah.
go to the doctors, oh, it's arthritis, it's inflammation, but actually that could be trapped feeling and emotion that you just need to
Yeah.
free yourself from.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's just mad,
It
isn't it?
is
Really.
crazy. And we don't know this. And this
Mm.
is my mission, to let people understand the mind-body connection. It's
Yeah.
all connected.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, it is. Right? We are an energy, right? And we pick up on other people's energy. Like when you're walking, I don't know, in a crowded area, and you're staring at the back of someone's head,
Mm.
right, really intently, and then all of a sudden they'll turn round, and you think, I wonder why they turned around. It's because they could feel it. They could feel the
Mm.
energy of literally someone's
Yeah, of
eyes
course.
bearing in the back of their head,
Mm.
right? Because that's what
Yeah.
happens. People can have groups where they sit together in a circle and really wish for world peace and things like that, right? And it's
Yeah.
been scientifically proven that those little groups, say they were doing it down your local area, they've seen things where the crime rate at that time was dropped, or certain things. They've scientifically proven all this stuff, and people don't like stuff unless it's been scientifically proven.
Absolutely.
And I think this is why neuroscience is great now, because now they've got scans and things like that. They can prove it all. They can do tests where they show someone a picture of someone, like a war picture or something, and people react in a certain way versus a picture of a puppy, because the brain waves that are going along, and it can impact your physical reaction in your body. That's what I find so fascinating.
Yeah. Well, we know that just by like nervousness or excitement.
Exactly the same
like
thing. It's just the association you get. Exactly right.
Yeah, tummy reacts in a
And
certain
it's so
way.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
So interesting.
definitely.
And that's why I love it, because you're learning things all the time.
Yeah.
And I never felt like this in my corporate world.
No. I absolutely love what I do, actually. And yeah, I used to have businesses that maybe didn't really align with what I wanted to do. And I did find it quite hard work and a long day and stuff like that, whereas I absolutely love what I do now. So,
and being a business owner is hard work in a sense, isn't it? Like when you're trying to get your clients and you've got to do all this stuff that you don't want to do, it can feel like you're pushing this great big boulder up a hill all the time, can't it?
Yeah,
But
and you
imagine doing what you don't even like what you're doing.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of a passion about it. And yeah, Yeah, the more you love what you do, the more you
It
naturally
seeps
feel
out your skin,
encouraged,
doesn't
really.
it? It seeps out of you. And that's what
Yeah, a
people
little
feed off
bit.
of, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and you just seem generally happier. I suppose, you know, we do spend a lot of our time working, don't we? So we do need to like just do something that we enjoy, if at all
Absolutely.
possible. I
Yeah,
know
it's not
that's not
always, is
possible
it?
for
But again, it
everyone.
isn't always that easy. But if that's your goal and
No.
that's your intention, then put it out to the universe and that's what you want. You know,
Yeah,
anything's
yeah,
possible.
yeah. Keep working
Yeah.
towards it. Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Yeah,
Sally, I
yeah.
could
No, that
talk
is
to you all
really
day
good.
long and it goes
I know
so
we've gone
quick,
on
doesn't
a bit.
it? People say to me, like, how
It
long
does.
should we be on here for? And I go, well, it'll go really quick because I'm sure they think that after 20 minutes they'll be worried that there's no conversation. But very rare. I don't think that will happen if I'm
Yeah,
honest. But before we go,
yeah,
Sally, do you want to just
definitely.
do a quick shout out about just tell everybody again what it is you do and how people can find you?
Yeah. Yeah, so as I say, I work alongside Forever Living Products. Interestingly, I do help people that join my team have a better work-life balance. So for that, they can look at my website, which is just sallyhargraves.co.uk. And as well as that, yeah, I retail supplements, and I do one-to-one meal planning for people that either want to get more energy, get healthier, they might have a few hormone issues, that sort of thing. Big focus on gut health, and actually a big focus on mental health as well, actually. So I do refer people for other help where I feel it's necessary and where I think it will be really beneficial for them.
And what we will
Okay.
do when this this interview will go up on my YouTube channel with all my other ones, and we can put where they can
Yeah.
find you on here, and I'll tag you in all the relevant
Yep.
social
Awesome.
media platforms as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just to recap for me, I work with my clients on a one-to-one basis, but I've also got an amazing group program. And I love speaking. If you want me to come into your corporate environments, even because I want to share, I spent 35 years in the corporate world, right? I know what it's like to feel stressed, burnt out. So I want to come and share this newfound knowledge with people as well. I've got quite a lot of speaking opportunities coming up soon. I've got a few of my own events coming up as well, so I'm really excited for that. And I've also got a book coming out soon as well. So I'm excited for that. So much going on. And this is from this woman that worked in the corporate world who didn't know she wanted to do any of this. So when you start working on yourself and you uncover the best version of who you are, then the world literally is your oyster. So I hope you all enjoyed this interview and had some golden nuggets or inspiration or whatever. That's what we do on this.
I've written stuff down. I wasn't expecting to be sitting here and me writing stuff. That's funny.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sally, so much. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
You know, and we'll see everybody next time on my Become Unstoppable series. So take care, everybody, and speak to you soon.
All right. Take care.